This is a 4-minute introduction to the video 8 White Horses, in which Anna-Marie Watson attempts the ancient White Horse Way, a 161-kilometre challenge stretching across Wiltshire in the southwest of England. Anna-Marie Watson is a professional ultra-runner who has competed in many major international races with significant results. In the Marathon des Sables, she finished second female, Au Mans by UTMB, first female, and Ultra Trail de Mont Blanc, seventh female. When COVID struck, all of Anna-Marie's events, career and races ceased. And looking for something closer to home, she set herself the challenge of gaining an FKT, the fastest known time, for a recognised route. All the data and proof for such a challenge is logged digitally and then approved. The White Horse Way had no recorded FKT, so in planning and executing this run, Anna-Marie was setting a marker for others to challenge. This epic route became Anna-Marie Watson's deeply personal ultra and a physical and mental lifeline during the COVID pandemic. A far cry from the glitz of the International Ultra Trail World Tour circuit, this solo challenge allowed Anna-Marie the space to reflect on her life before the enforced break from racing and consider a new way forward. In this new venture, she is supported by her partner Jo, who drives her campervan. Snug inside, it nevertheless has all the comforts that she needs, neatly fitted into the small interior. A bunk bed with lilac duvet and pillows is along one wall, above a bank of fitted drawers. Narrow benches with blue padded seats provide resting areas, and a small hob keeps a kettle on the go. A row of running shoes is lined up on the floor, and jackets and towels hang from pegs near the van door. We hear Joe's voice and notice his hands as he passes things to Anna, and an occasional passing view, but he is very much in the background, supporting. In the early hours of the morning, with dawn light seeping over the rolling hills of the Wiltshire countryside, Anna, a petite slim woman in her early 40s, dons her black and pink skort, shorts and skirt in one, a blue ultra long-sleeve top and pale green headband, and sets off on her run. Her shins are encased in pale blue calf sleeves, and feet, warmed by running socks, are slipped into red trainers. Her long brown wavy hair is tied back off her face in a high ponytail, swishing against her technical running vest, which contains a hydration pack, pockets full of snacks, extra layers, and communication devices. She sets off over the rain-soaked countryside, down rutted tracks, muddy fields, narrow footpaths, with an occasional short foray onto smooth-surfaced road. White horses are glimpsed carved out of the hillsides, and as she passes each one, the name and date of their creation flashes across the screen. As the day wears on, a weak sun brightens the sky. Sunglasses and a pink sun visor shield her eyes. Later at night, in the cold and dark, as she comes to the end of the challenge, she is wrapped up in black leggings and a thermal jacket, the neck of a fine blue sweater pulled up over her mouth and nose. A long-standing friend, Caroline, is seen with her young daughter Esme, cheering her on as she grabs a quick snack on a country lane. Caroline is wrapped up warm against the wind in a long purple puffer coat, her dark hair buffeted across her face as they briefly stop and chat. Nick, in her orange jacket, makes avocado toast in the confines of the van, and at the end squashes up with her son Ollie and Joe, wrapped up warm in jackets, beanies and baseball caps, as 22 hours, 23 minutes and 50 seconds later, they talk about the day with Anna. The video is interspersed with extracts from an interview filmed after Anna's run was completed. She sits in her van, nestled between the cooker and the bunk bed, talking about her personal journey. In the early hours of the morning, damp grey light oozes across rolling fields. Headlights flash across 3 heritage maps set in the ground on the edge of a narrow path. The van comes to a halt. In the doorway of the van, Anna bends to put on her running shoes. A blue towel swings from a hook as she sips coffee and chats to Joe, who's standing outside. Standing next to the sign of the Wiltshire Way, Anna points out the day's challenge, a large blue circular route marked on a white background. With a wave, she sets off running down a well-trodden path, past a wooden bench set to admire the view, and along a high ridge above the first of the large white horses carved into the chalk of a rolling hillside. The title 8 white horses flashes in white across the screen as the sky brightens and Anna's tiny figure disappears around the brow of the hill, seeming to race across the enormous pointed head and huge grey eye of the horse. Chalk figures have decorated hillsides across England from as far back as 1000 BC. These figures were made by cutting away the turf to expose the white chalk underneath. The county of Wiltshire has the greatest number of chalk figures in England. Historically there were 13 white horses, but now only 8 remain. Joe drives down a rain-soaked road, skies streaked with pink dawn.
Any high point that you look, at some point you can see the Westbury White Horse. It's like a frame of reference. It helps me really locate myself in the landscape. So I knew that there was the white horse there. I had no idea about the other white horses in Wiltshire, or how many there were, or where they were.
Anna runs through a village onto a footpath watched by a large cow, past a stone church nestling amongst tall trees, and along a canal path, locks stretching into the distance. Fields of grain swirl in the breeze and a white horse is glimpsed on a far hillside. Devices created 1999 pops across the screen. Beyond the body of the horse, a patchwork of fields rolls into the distance, villages half buried in the lush green landscape. Anna runs down a hill, shoes flapping against the muddy road, cow parsley growing wild in the hedgerows.
I'd normally race internationally on the Ultra Trail World Tour circuit. But clearly during 2020 and then 2021, that wasn't quite so possible. It was a huge part of my identity to travel, to race, to have that kind of grounding, to have that cycle. It's what gave my life structure. And with that gone, I was lost.
We see medals, photos of Marathon des Sables, Sri Lanka, the World Tour and first place podium in Oman. Climbing up onto a path, Anna meets Joe, who's brought a snack.
At the back of my mind, the White Horse Trail was just kind of there lingering.
Leaving Joe, Anna trudges through a farm gate, sludging through deep mud to access the field beyond. She walks a short distance, before running again as Alton Barnes 1822 flashes up, and another white horse with an elongated neck seems to canter across a hill.
In a way, this was a kind of a bit of a tribute, a passage through the landscape of a place that I'd not chosen to be home, but a place that has become home. Wiltshire had chosen me, and this was getting to know, the ground beneath my feet and connecting to the nature and having an adventure on my doorstep.
Clanging a gate shut behind her, Anna runs into another field, and a National Trust sign, Cherhill Down, Oldbury Castle, is set against wire fencing. She passes the Cherhill White Horse created in 1780, through a kissing gate, and on down a rutted narrow gully, tunnelled with overhanging branches. Joe glimpsed running ahead of her as they go back to the van to take stock. 63 kilometres in 6 hours, 52 minutes and 25 seconds. She studies the map.
Oh well, I'm getting around them. Slow and steady.
Leaving the van parked up in a village lay-by, she sets off again, sunglasses around her neck and a pink visor holding back her hair.
Wiltshire really pulled out the stops. It had the massive expanse of skies, it had the clouds, it had the sun, it had the different variations of green, and it just really was showcasing the beauty behind the countryside. And this is a very different landscape. Normally I'd be in the mountains, and I love the mountains. They really fill me with great joy. But actually the rolling countryside and the open chalklands of Wiltshire have, crept up on me and bewitched me in a different way.
Anna runs up a hilly path past sheep lolling in the fields. Dandelion buds pepper the ground as the Broadtown horse, created in 1863, appears etched into the side of a nearby hill. As the sun begins to shine, she walks up a wooded path, the sun casting shadows of the branches over the stony ground, and checks her watch.
Apparently 79. 79k, but I don't think it's quite that far.
Reaching a stile, she clambers over. walks through a tunnel of trees and runs down an overgrown footpath to a distant 5-bar gate. Back at the van, Jo helps her to remove her shoes and she examines her feet, drying them with a towel.
Poor feet. But I haven't lost any toenails. It's still wrinkling down. Oh.
Setting off again, the white horse of Hackpen Hill, created in 1838, is visible on a far slope. Beneath the horse, the land slides away, ponies grazing in rain-lashed fields. 8 to 9 kilometres in 10 hours, 55 minutes and 7 seconds. As the sky brightens, Anna runs down a pitted rain-pool track and steps over a large boulder beside a farm gate.
I can maybe run this bit slowly.
She runs on, the landscape flattening out a little as she reaches Marlborough, where an elongated white horse created in 1804 rests on a shallow bank. As she runs through a wooded track, she's cheered on by Ben.
This challenge has kind of come at a really interesting time in my life. I've lived, breathed and raced really world-renowned racers, and I've been doing that now for 8 years.
Sitting in the van.
I was just on permanent fast forwards. It was like I was living in the future, living out my diary without an appreciation of the now. And I think that's, I don't know, it's a dangerous place to be. Do I want to return to my lifestyle before COVID? And if not, what does my next normal, new normal look like? What do I want to cherry pick from beforehand to then make my life?
In the weak afternoon sunshine, Anna walks up a pebbled track. She meets Caroline, Esme and Joe and snacks on a piece of banana.
12k. This should be 101 from what I measured. And then we're at 113, which is that's quite a big difference.
Is there anyone else doing this?
Not today. Yeah.
No? Yeah. This is your chip, right? Doesn't suffer you. Oh. Bye. Enjoy. Oh.
Got it.
As she sets off again, she walks into the distance using 2 walking poles, her ponytail bouncing on her running vest as she strides out. Far in the distance, we see another horse on a hillside.
Every time I spied a white horse, that was a moment of relief, of satisfaction, of just delight in the figure itself. And it was a bit of a checkpoint that I was making progress. And particularly when I spied the white horse at Pewsey, that's one that you can see for a long way in the distance.
In the fading light, the Pewsey horse 1937 is half visible on a distant hillside as Anna struggles into the van for a short rest.
I know.
More banana.
I'll have another third banana.
More banana. You've got your funky dates as well.
I've still got some dates in my pocket.
The sun sets, casting an orange glow over the fields.
At that point, it hurts. I'd been on the go for 17, 18 hours. There was no way that I wasn't going to finish, even if I had to power walk, 30k.
In the dark, she is barely visible behind the beam of her head torch.
I draw from experiences in the past that I can relate to and compare them to, and that gives me, in a way, a certainty and confidence that I can get through it. I knew I had enough warm clothing, I knew I had waterproofs, I knew I had my torch, I knew I had a spare battery pack, I knew I had comms, I knew I had food.
In waterproofs, woolen gloves, the neck of her jumper pulled up over her face, Anna approaches the finish, her path lit by Joe shining a torch at the ground. Reaching the starting point, she rests her head for a moment on the White Horse Trail map.
22 hours, 23 and 54. Oh my god. It is so cold. Get yourself in the van.
Westbury 1873 flashes across the screen, and Anna climbs into the van where Nick is busy preparing food.
Oh, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, whoever can hold the one touch.
Oh, I love you, thank you.
I made your heater work.
Oh my goodness.
2,155 metres elevation, 82 styles, 1 FKT, fastest known time, 4 cups of tea, 2 strong coffees, 3 herds of curious cows, 0 hotspots or blisters, and 8 white horses. Anna Marie Watson set an FKT for the White Horse Trail of 22 hours, 23 minutes and 54 seconds. She ran 101 miles, 162 kilometres. Nick, Ollie, Joe and Anna all snuggle up in the van.
I've been snug in the van with some of my favourite people in the world, just chatting and laughing and reminiscing. I just was content, happy, smiling, and if I could bottle that as an essence, it would be something that I could live on forever.
Film by Danielle Sellwood. Music by Ava Waves. Supported by La Sportiva, Purple Patch, Reach for More, and Find It Film. The audio description is by Nadine Beasley for VocalEyes.